Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Z James. This is Z32 Workshop, and this beside is my 1993 Nissan 300ZX convertible. We are doing upgrades. Today is a how-to video, just like all the other videos in the series. I didn't name them as such, but this one's definitely a how-to on how to replace and how to, well, basically take out and replace your front shock to redo that. It's pretty easy, to be honest with you, on the most part. What you need to do is you gotta jack the car up, obviously, take the wheel off, obviously put a jack stand in it. That's a safety thing. Always want to have jack stands underneath the car. So jack the car up, take the wheel off. You are dealing with one 17 millimeter nut on the bottom. I do believe it's 17 millimeter nut on the bottom. Come off the shock, take that off. You got two bolts on top. Those are 14 millimeters. Sorry, not bolts. Nuts on top, 14 millimeters. And then you can take it off. But the things you need to take off are on the shock is there is a ABS line that hooks into this. And then there is, to help you get it out of the car, I would suggest and be wise with it and take the two brackets that sort of direct the brake line around the shock and everything in there, take them off so you can move that line around. It's a flex line, you can move it around. In my car, those will be upgraded to stainless steel brake lines at some point, flex lines. That will be stronger once I redo the brake system, as in flush it out, put new fluid in, because it's 20-year-old stuff in there, I'm assuming at this point. Brakes still work good. I just want to have the nicest stuff possible for this car. So that's what we're doing today on taking that stuff off. Most of this is going to be time warp for everyone, but the shock's going on. Everything will be new on the car going in. The only thing I'm using out of the shock, there is a metal bracket literally on top before it takes the shock, sandwiches in between it with the gasket in between. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing with this. So let's get to going with it. So, oh, and all the parts and stuff I'm using and tools will be in the descriptions below for everyone who wants to use them, and for torque specs on everything as well. So let's get at it. So 3, 2, 1, go. Boo. Done time lapse or hyper warp or whatever I want to call it this time. Everything's in. Torque down to most specs except for the sway bar link. Side note, I had to take the sway bar link off and loosen the sway bar to slide it around. For whatever reason, it was not quite centered in the car. It was over to the driver's side by about an inch, maybe half inch. So I had to disconnect the sway bar on either side, swing it down, pull it down a little bit, and just so it can get access to get the dang shock off. And this time around, it went on a lot smoother, which is remarkable. So it's kind of weird that it did it, but it did it nonetheless. Let's see here, what else was we working on that did this? Okay, so shock came off, shock came on. Hang on, let me show you a second. Here is the gasket that came off the front. You can see this is probably was put in that way. I mean, this thing was jumbled up where it wasn't hitting it, but you can see where it's got shiny, hopefully you guys can see that, shiny spots. It's garbage, but I got new ones of those. All the parts I have, I'll have linked, written down in the description below. All OEM parts except for the spring and the shock itself, those are Koni's. The lower shock was, I think, 40 foot-pounds. I'll have the torque specs in the descriptions below as well. That way you guys can look them up. I probably won't put them on screen. Then I torqued the two bolts on top. Anything else I did? I think that's about the only thing you reuse, and I showed you that was the upper plate. There's an upper plate you have to reuse. I cleaned it up since I had it off. Just like most of the bolts, I went through and just scrubbed them a little bit. Hit them with some Simple Green, not a sponsor, to actually do this stuff, to clean it up. So that's it. That is shock replacement on the driver's side as a how-to. The only thing I need to do is a pry bar to help pry it off. The big tips here are if the sway bar is in the way, if it's a factory right, it shouldn't be. Mine is not. It is different because I put a Stillman in. So I had to take that off. So the aftermarket parts I'm putting on aren't necessarily interfering. They just add a little layer of complexity. The big thing is takeaway to get the shock off is to take off the brake line to get it so you get some more flex and run it around. Just pop those spring clips off, move it around so you can get them off. And then put whatever coilover or shock replacement you're going to put in, whether it's an OEM, an aftermarket, or if you're doing coilovers on this. Let's go take a look at the car real fast so you guys can see. It is in supplied nut, bolt, and washer from Koni. Put the plastic cap back on, tighten both, torque those back down, and sway bar link. And then, let's see, here's all the rebuilt stuff. Up top, torque, and then I set this to the softest setting and then came back about a 1/16 of an inch to get that. Passenger side is the same. Did that the other day. You all see. So this thing is ready to rock and roll for the alignment shop here in a couple days. The only thing I need left to do is put the tires back on and get it off the jack stands. And then I need to take a look at my fuel line here, just because you probably saw it in the video. I got it protected, but I think I need to do some more protection here. I'm gonna get some more hose to go over this, just so it isn't rubbing, it is in the way. For my fuel line, I'm just really concerned by this. The plastic stuff I had here earlier didn't seem to do it. It cut right through it right away. It was a little too soft. I need a little something harder in this section to do it, because this is my fuel pressure sensor, which is nice to doing stuff. And just for everybody else, this is where I run all my wires through. Yes, I know I need to get some tape on this just so it doesn't cut through or cut one of those wires, which will make me very, very mad. So anyway, that's this video for on how to. If you have any comments you have, just hit me below, or questions on this. Once again, my name is Z James. This is Z32 Workshop, and I hope to see you on the next project, which, to be honest, is preview probably going to be transmission mount from DBE. So take care, everybody. Bye.